What is the difference between a feminist and a knife? Take a guess. Oh, let me tell you. The difference between a feminist and a knife is that at least the knife has a point. It's safe to say that for men, a woman who knows her role in a traditional relationship is now the hottest thing a woman can do these days. Don't you guys agree? Woke feminism sells women on the very seductive idea of zero responsibility. Everything bad, somewhere somehow, is a man's fault. That is not reality. Why on earth would men willing to fulfill traditionally masculine roles want to be with a woman who isn't willing to fulfill any roles, let alone traditionally feminine ones? The idea that woke women these days have is zero responsibility, selective equality, and becoming CEO without having to do the hard work that men in their positions are accustomed to. Any woman who considers herself a feminist has no business wanting a man to pay for any dates. And not just the first one, because they spout equality, but want special and preferential treatment. Someone said that probably the single worst thing feminism has done to women was lying to them about what men should want, and not focusing on what they do want. And in doing so, torpedoed any believer's chances of finding a man and getting married. That's so true and speaks volumes about the mindsets of woke women today. From another perspective, it's called cognitive dissonance. This is feminism in a nutshell. Want their cake and eat it too, as well as Dom Perignon every night, caviar every day, and all the trimmings from the high life. But you can pick up the check while she goes out on the town with her friends on your card and ends up somewhere else other than your bed, and you will not only be okay with it, but happy and excited for her. When all of this takes place, it's almost unbelievable that the woke women of today are confused about why men don't want them, don't want to date them, and don't even try to approach them. There's a fine line between wanting to be liberal and being a feminist, and that line has been blurred to the extent that woke feminism only means selective equality, which means that women only want men who can be their lifelong slaves, work 24/7 to provide for them, and never expect anything from them as they go out and about spending his resources and chasing her corporate career. Basically, the moment a man enters into marriage with a woke feminist, his days are over. He's done for. He has signed the contract to be a slave for the rest of his life, where his decisions will be questioned, where what he says will be ignored, and where he will be expected to do everything for this woman and not expect anything in return. Only the middle to late 20th century did women have access to a lifestyle where women could be romantically involved with other women in public. I believe that as more and more men go their separate ways, accumulating their own riches and living their own lives, women will become more and more destitute or reliant on credit and the government to survive. Because it's a societal norm, women frequently say one thing while really meaning another. They can't seem to approach anything in life directly, thus it's likely part of their biology as well. They aren't as literal as men are, but they are always attempting to enter our thoughts through our back doors. Because we have a variety of goals to pursue in the actual world, men cannot afford to be overly literal. Women, on the other hand, can't afford to be upfront because if something goes wrong, we know what they're up to, where they stand on any particular topic, or their genuine motives are obvious. They don't want us to truly place the responsibility on them because women are physically and emotionally weaker. Women who were more successful at influencing males throughout history pass on their genes to subsequent generations. The point I'm trying to make is that women regret feminism in the sense that it took them to another level and totally away from what a woman is supposed to be according to the universal laws of nature. A woman is supposed to be a caregiver, a nurturer, and someone who can raise families. There's a reason why it's women who have the biological power to give birth and not men. But when women go against their own nature for too long, it begins to disturb them. It begins to make them realize that they are wasting their time doing things that men are supposed to do and avoiding the things that they should be doing. Men don't go about trying to raise children and become feminine to care for children. They're perfectly happy being who they are and doing what they're supposed to do, to be providers and protectors. They don't try to become women or take on the responsibilities of a woman. A woman wanting to be the provider is like a man complaining about his inability to give birth to a child. So while feminism did bring a lot of growth for women and empowered them to pursue better and more independent lives, feminism failed to draw a boundary between the level of independence and freedom of being. It made women want to become men and eventually despise men for being masculine. The woke woman of today is contradictory. She wants a traditionally masculine man, but for herself to have her own autonomy, go out clubbing when she wants, and do whatever whenever she wants. She wants her independence. She does not want to put her husband's needs before her own. She doesn't want to serve or commit to him. She wants to go clubbing to bask in male attention and keep her hypergamous options open. She doesn't have one thing she provides for him wholeheartedly. If this isn't entitlement, then what is? She doesn't want to compromise her morals and values. This woman doesn't respect any decent man. Basically, she wants a man who is progressive and letting her do whatever she wants in the relationship, but wants a tough, masculine, loyal man. She wants the benefits of both without making any sacrifices. For men these days, that's all there is to meet out there. You quickly find out that they're absolutely determined to be the boss babe at home, and hell would freeze over before they let you lead in the relationship. Heck, one woman I've known for a very long time gloated to her friends that it was she who decided what TV would be watched in their household, as it should be. I just thought, the poor man. The other thing you find is that they have no other personality other than presenting themselves as boss babes, so you meet one woman and you've met them all. Then look at the men these feminists are in relationships with, and you see that they've been castrated. Sure, they're seed donors and walking ATMs, but that's it. These feminists also have a hair trigger for rage, and from what I hear it's like walking on eggshells at home. That's the norm. Most men have zero dignity and would rather be with such crap women than be alone. It's the cash it of having someone, anyone, rather than being alone. That's the raw and undisputed tragedy most men face these days. And if these are the options, most men are now saying goodbye to modern woke women and going their own way, rather than being miserable stimps with someone they can't even respect. Sure, there are a few guys out there who are willing to overlook some of those things. But traditional conservative men want a faithful spouse to start a family with. Moderate, non-traditional guys want a solid partner to be loyal to and get that loyalty in return. Neither are going to be interested in a woman child who won't give up the party's hard lifestyle, non-monogamy, and adherence to a destructive ideology. This also opens her up to sociopaths or narcissists in addition to getting rejected or dumped by conservative and moderate men. This situation right now is this. Historically, traditional men knew their role in society and inside their house. Outside, they were fighting battles, and inside, they were bringing security, provision, and protection to their wives and children. Over the years, as gender roles changed, women no longer wanted a traditional man who had authority inside the house. After that, they started having problems with men having authority in offices. Then feminism happened, and that led to modern women taking over traditionally masculine roles in society. Today, they're tired of it and want the traditional man back because they realize they're not meant to live a masculine life. It goes against their nature, biology, and physiology. Modern feminine women are also promoting a dangerous narrative, which is that they believe they can function in societies without any men in those societies. This is a dangerous narrative because it will misinform young women about how they can do that without ever having to work for it. But as we all know, everything comes with an expiry date, and so does woke feminism. There will come a time when women will have no men to select from because all of them will only want traditional women, rather than woke feminists who only want selective equality and for men to act like slaves and robots to their whims. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.